In this video, we're going to take a look at expanding double brackets. We've already seen how to expand single brackets with a term on the outside. The way that we do that is by using multiplication. But what about now if we have double brackets? So, for example, let's say we've got x plus 1 and x 4. Okay. How would we expand these double brackets here? Well, again, because we're expanding, we're going to use multiplication again here. There's two main methods to expand double brackets. The first method here is using file. So using file. And then the second method here is the grid method. So let's start off then with this first method here of using file. So file just tells us the order of multiplication here when we're expanding double brackets. So the F here stands for the first two terms multiplied together. So F stands for first. The O here stands for the outside terms. So that is the two terms that are furthest apart. The I here stands for the inside terms. That's the two that are closest together. And then the L here stands for the last two terms in each bracket. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is just use a different pen colour just to highlight this, make it a bit clearer. I think when you write it down like that, it's not particularly clear. I think when we run through this example now, it highlights it much better than I can kind of explain here. So if we do F here in red, so in that case then, what I'm going to do is just let me write down the brackets again underneath. So x plus 1 times x plus 4. Like we said, expanding using file now, we do the first two terms here in red. The first two terms here, that would be this x multiplied by this x here. So x times by x, that would give us x squared. That's F complete here. We've multiplied the first two terms together. Using a different colour now, let's do O here. Now we're multiplying the outside terms here. So that's the two that are furthest apart. That would be this x here and this positive 4 here. Okay, so x times 4, that would give us 4x. We get plus 4x there. Let's use green now to do the I here. This is for the inside terms, so this is now the two terms that are closest together. That would be this one here and this x here. So 1 times x, that would give us x. We get plus x there. And then finally, do it in blue, doing the L now for the last two terms here. So the last term in this bracket, which is 1, times by the last term in this bracket here, which is 4. So 1 times by 4, that would give us 4. Get plus 4 there. So just be very careful there. A common mistake is to add those together. So like I said, a common mistake there would be to put 5. But like we said, just remember we're multiplying here to expand. What we've done there is we've expanded. But what we also want to do here is simplify. So to simplify here, what we're doing is we're collecting like terms. So in that case then I'm going to get x squared here. We can't do anything with the x squared. 4x plus x, well that would give us 5x. And then finally plus 4 here, which again we can't do anything with. Okay, and there we have it. So that's the solution there. So if you expand and simplify these double brackets here, like you can see, you get this quadratic here. Okay, so that's using file. But what I'll also show now is the grid method here. So with the grid method, what we do, take the double bracket, so x plus 1 and x plus 4. And what I'm going to do now is just essentially split them up. So the x and the 1 here, so x plus 1, write that as x and 1 along the top here. Okay. And down this side here for my column, for my grid here, I'm going to split the x and the 4 up here, so all the x plus 4 up together. I'm going to get x and 4 then. Okay. Like you can see, we get this grid here now. And what I'm going to do here now is just perform the multiplication within the grids here. So x times x, that would give us x squared. X times 1, which would just simply give us x. 4 times x would give us 4x. And then finally, 4 times 1 would give us 4 there. Okay. And the good thing with the grid method is when we're simplifying here, we just simplify along this diagonal. So the terms along this diagonal here, we add those together. So 4x plus x, that would give us 5x. What we're going to get here then, when we simplify here, we're going to get x squared. Basically, it's just everything inside these grids here. So x squared, 4x plus x, that would give us 5x. Like we said, we just add and simplify along this diagonal here. And we've got this 4 here in the bottom corner. Okay. I know you should get the exact same answer. You shouldn't get anything different. Obviously, we're just expanding in a different way. Like you can see, we get the same quadratic. Okay. But that's how we expand double brackets. So what we're going to do now, just take a look at some practice questions. Starting off with question 1 here, then we're asked to expand and simplify x plus 3 and x plus 6. So let's just write that down here. So x plus 3 and x plus 6. We're going to expand and simplify here. The way I'm going to do it is the first method that I introduced, that was the method of FOIL. So using FOIL here, then we need to multiply the first two terms together. So I'm going to do x times x here. So x times x, that would give us x squared. Then we do the outside terms here, so that's the two that are furthest apart. So x times 6, that would give us 6x. Get plus 6x there. We now do the I here, so that's the inside term. So this positive 3 here times by this x here, that will give us plus 3x. And then finally, we need to multiply the last terms here inside the brackets together. That'll be this positive 3 here and this positive 6 here. So 3 times 6 would give us 18. What we've done here is we've expanded, but what we need to do now as well is simplify. We're just going to collect like terms here. I've got x squared, can't do anything with that. 6x plus 3x, that would give me 9x. And then finally, plus 18, we can't do anything with that, so leave it as it is. And there we have it. So that's the solution to question 1. Like I said, you could have also used the grid method here to expand and simplify products here of brackets, or these double brackets here. Like I said, that's absolutely fine. You wouldn't get penalized for doing it using the grid method. I just prefer to use FOIL to expand double brackets. Okay, but there we have it. So that's the solution to question 1. So if we take a look now at question 2, again, we're just asked to expand and simplify. What I've got here is a -2 and a -3. So to expand and simplify here, again, I'm just going to use the method of FOIL. We're using FOIL here. So to begin with, we need to multiply the first two terms together. The first term in this bracket multiplied by the first term in this bracket here. So a multiplied by a, that will give us a squared. Get a squared to begin with. We now need to multiply the outside terms together, so that's going to be a times -3. In that case now, we're going to get -3a, so just be very careful with the signs here. Get -3a. Moving on to the I now, so the inside terms here are -2 times a. In that case, we'd get -2a. And then finally, multiplying the last two terms together here, so the last term in this bracket divided by the last term in this bracket. So -2 times -3. Again, just be very careful with the signs here. What we're going to get is +6. We get +6 there. So now we've expanded, but what we also need to do here is simplify. So collecting like terms, we're going to get a squared. -3a, -2a. So again, just be very careful with the signs here. I'm going to get -5a. And then finally, we've got +6 here, which we can't do anything with. There we have it. So that's the solution to question 2. Moving on to question 3 now, where we're asked to expand and simplify these two brackets here. So to begin with, let's just write down the two brackets. So I've got 2y plus 1. I've got y minus 1. So again, I'm just going to use FOIL here to expand these double brackets. So using FOIL. So multiplying the first two terms together. So the first term in this bracket multiplied by the first term in this bracket here. So 2y times y, that would give us 2y squared. Get 2y squared to begin with. Moving on to the O now, so the outside terms here, so it's going to be 2y times -1. That would give us -2y. Moving on to the I now, so the inside terms here, so it's going to be positive 1 times y. That will give us plus y. And then finally, moving on to the L here, the last terms, so the last term in this bracket, positive 1 times the last term in this bracket here, which is minus 1. So 1 times minus 1, that would give us minus 1. So what we've done here is we've expanded. We now need to simplify here. We just collect like terms. We've got 2y squared. I can't do anything with that. I then got minus 2y plus y. That's going to give me minus y. Then we've got minus 1 here, which again, we can't do anything with. And there we have it. So that's the solution there for question 3. Taking a look now at question 4 here, and you might notice straight away that this question looks a little bit different. So again, we're asked to expand and simplify, so nothing different there. But here what I've been given is y plus 4 all squared. Okay? So y plus 4 all squared. Well, the reason this is different is because normally we're given the products of brackets here. So we're actually given 2 brackets placed together. So we're going to expand those double brackets. Whereas here what we've been given is a single bracket that's squared. But remember, if we're squaring this bracket here, we can actually write this now as a product of 2 brackets. So here, y plus 4 all squared is the same as y plus 4 times y plus 4. Okay? It's important that you can spot that here. Okay, so this does crop up quite a bit, so always keep an eye open for that. So here now what I need to do is expand these double brackets here. The way I'm going to do that is using FOIL. Using FOIL here. So multiplying the first 2 terms together, y times y here. So y times y, that would give us y squared. Doing the outside terms now, so that's going to be y times positive 4. That would give us plus 4y. Moving on to the I now, so the inside terms here, so that's going to be positive 4 times y. So that would give us plus 4y as well. And then finally, moving on to the L here, the last term, so positive 4 times positive 4. So in other words, 4 squared, which is 16. What we need to do now to finish with here is simplify. So collect like terms. Got y squared, can't do anything with that. I've got 4y plus 4y. So in total now we've got 8y collecting like terms. Plus 8y. And then finally plus 16 here. And there we have it. So that's the solution there for question 4. And finally then, if we take a look at the very last question here, question 5, we're asked to expand and simplify these double brackets here. Let's just write down the double brackets to begin with. We've got 3a plus 2 and 1 plus 5a. So again, I'm just going to use FOIL here to expand these double brackets. So we multiply the first 2 terms together here. In this case, that would be 3a times 1. So 3a times 1, that would give us 3a. Moving on to the outside terms now, the O here. So that's going to be 3a times 5a. In this case, we'd get 15a squared. Moving on to the I now, so the inside terms here. So positive 2 multiplied by positive 1 here. So that would simply give us plus 2. And then finally, moving on to the L here, the last 2 terms. So the last term in this bracket here, 2, multiplied by the last term here in this bracket, which is 5a. So 2 times 5a, that would give us 10a. So now all we need to do here to finish with is just simplify and collect like terms. I've got 15a squared here. We can't do anything with that, so we'll place that at the front. We get 15a squared. We've got 10a plus 3a, so that'll give me 13a. And then finally we've got plus 2 here. Again, we can't do anything with that. There we have it. And there we have it. So that's the solution to question 5. And that actually brings the end of this video on expanding double brackets. So in the next video, what we're going to take a look at is factorizing quadratics.